What up, my ninjas? 28 minutes, 34 seconds left on this phone to record. Obviously, like usual, I need to clear some off, and that's kind of been an up and down kind of battle. Usually, when it shows me this countdown, or this limit of time, that's when I usually do something. I did download a bunch of apps recently, so that's probably part of the problem. Anywho, and there's a lot of videos on that phone, this phone. So yeah. Anywho. So, I believe I mentioned I would be seeing a learning coach, a life coach. Someone I've seen before. It's a friend. So when I first started with her, part of it was just helping her out. And then the other half was, who can use some more help, right? Especially me, because, things weren't working out. And I had been, I seen her for like a year. It was like every other week. And the focus was a lot of self-accountability. Like, could you have done more? What could you have done? But like reasonably, because to a degree you can always blame yourself for everything. It's like, oh, well, did you do everything to prepare for this? Like, probably not, but you could have. But also, at some point, there's like, you can only prepare so much to the point to where all you're doing is preparing and you're not living your life. And then what's the point in preparing if you're just preparing non-stop and not living your life? So before with her, it was a reasonable amount of like accountability, not like the ridiculousness that some people try to put on you. So after a year of her, because it was free then, and she was like still kind of learning her system and how she wanted to do things. And so then when she was ready to try, I was like, yeah, I'll pay to keep doing this. And then like a lot of times when I make a plan, something comes along and ruins it. I had planned to get health insurance. Something came along and ruined the money I was getting. It pretty much killed the amount of money I needed to get health insurance. And this happened other times where it's like, oh, this amount of money that I need for this planned thing disappears somehow. So that kept happening in this, and with continuing with her doing learning coach stuff, or why do I keep saying learning coach? Life coach stuff. That money disappeared. So I have a system now where I'm saving a little bit of money every week, and it goes to her R2 life coach stuff. So we had the first session in a long time, probably over a year, because then twice I was ready to start back up with her, and like I said, oh, here's that money for her. Oop, it disappears. There's even time I was gonna start. I was gonna learn a skill at a school. And it was like 200 initial, and then 50 every week after that. Like, that's cool. I can do that. And then the $200 I had in my bank for that disappeared. I don't know where it went. I like looked at my budget. I was like, where did that 200 go? It was like it was never there, or I don't know. It was weird. Anywho, so anyway, I got my system back with her. The third attempt to actually be a client, and her doing this professionally, and I'm sure she has other clients now. So I get in there, and it's definitely a change. Like I think I said previously, why are people parking right next to me? So I'm out of Sheets, and like I did my session in this car today, with the learning coach, and people were parking right next to me. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 spaces. And if there's 3 cars, they're like right next to me. Somewhat. That's a little exaggeration, but I was like, bro, you could park right there and you wouldn't be but right next to another car. You could park right there, you wouldn't be next to another car. I'm like, common sense. Don't park right next to another car if you can have the space, because less chance of a wreck. Anywho, back to focus. Focus. Camera's a little off center. Anywho, so I do the first session today, and it was definitely not what I expected. And like I said, I was kind of holding off getting too into anything because I didn't want to come up with a system. And if you've watched this series, I keep coming up with different systems and they fail for one reason or another. Maybe it's because things change, or just the system didn't work how I thought it would, yada yada. So anyway, today's session was very much more about positive affirmations, kind of like believing in what you're doing positively. Because after I talked to her, I talked to another friend who actually suggested positive affirmations would help me. And we talked about how I've always been pretty much an optimist, even though life's kind of been trying to pound that out of me. But she brought up, yes, both people were talking about are females. She's kind of talked to me how optimism and positive affirmations aren't the same. Because positive is like, I think I can, or optimism is like, I think I can, I think it will, and positive affirmation is like, I know it will, I know I can. Okay. So it definitely wasn't what I was thinking, because I was, and it reminds me of a story someone told about wanting to play drums. They already kind of knew how to play drums, and they wanted to be able to do stuff they saw these professionals do. So they go to a drum instructor and they just start teaching them the basics. It's like, yeah, I know the basics, but I want to be like, and like, no, you got to do this to get to that. And that's how I kind of feel like this was. Like, I'm not disavowing it. I'm not disregarding it. And even the life coach, even the life coach was like, yeah, it sounds kind of goofy and something like that. It doesn't sound, it sounds weird, yada yada. And some people definitely don't believe in it. And my view on it is, it may work, it may not. If it does work, it might work because the reasons they say, it might work for other reasons. I only have a minute left on this video because I want to keep it 10 minutes, especially because there's 28 total minutes. 28 minutes, 34 seconds. Anyway, I'd like to get into all the different ways something could work, but not work because of why you think it works. And that's what I'm open. So I'm going to do these positive affirmation things. We'll see how it goes. Definitely, I was kind of hoping for more techniques or ideas or strategies how to handle all these balls up in the air. But what I got was, believe you can juggle all those things in the air, which does kind of seem like the first step. But also, I've always been kind of optimistic about that. So we'll see what happens. More next video. I'll tell you how Thursday goes.